the Hand of Aegis are returning from Drakesburg after, and this is where it gets funny, 5 days. You were there literally 5 days.
5 long days.
I don't know how many episodes that was, but it was 5 days of real time. So yeah, you sailed across on the 29th of Marpaneth, and you're returning on the morning of the 4th of Uktar. During that time, the Hand of Aegis has undertaken what started as a fact-finding mission and took quite a lot of tangents. You've explored under the city, you've found chocolate, you've lost rats, found elves. There's been a lot going on. You've had another very brutal encounter with the Purveyor out on the hills beyond the walls of Drakesburg. And now, having gone into some strange demiplane to rescue Colas and Teta, who had been captured, you're on a ship sailing back to Delsmer. Let's pick up and start. And I can tell you, it's a clear passage.
Oh, nice.
The cold air is still very much present. As you recall, your time over there was almost always cold. And today is no different. It's probably below freezing again. But the only real there's progress is a little slow. There's not much wind right now that's actually carrying you across. So it's a fairly slow crossing. And really, the breeze that you're feeling is mostly coming from just the fact that the ship is moving rather than any significant air that's pushing the ship. But yeah, it's a cold old morning for sure. So yeah, as dawn breaks over Delsmer, the ship carrying the Hand of Aegis glides into the harbor, the hull creaking softly in the thick morning mist. The usual bustling of the docks is absent. There's an eerie stillness that's seeping almost out of the water and cloaking the docks. As you come back through the harbor wall, once again you see plastered 12, 15 feet high, a giant red paw print streaking onto the stone wall. You do see some dock workers moving around, notably not looking towards the large paw print that's been painted on the harbor wall. And as the ship comes into its berth, cutting through the salt air, you get the distinct scent of iron that lingers in the nose. The ship comes to rest, and you're able to disembark. I would say it's probably about 8 a.m. now as the ship arrives. I mean, if you just looking around, obviously there's this giant paw print. Like I said, it's sort of 12, 15 feet tall. It's been painted, smeared, whatever, onto the harbor wall. It is red.
Was it the one that was there?
This looks fresh.
What sort of paw print does it look like? Like, can we determine maybe what kind of animal paw it is?
It's a fair question. Give me a survival check. What did you roll?
It looks like 20.
20. Okay. Yes, that is a good roll. Yes, you are. You're able to see. I mean, it's quite big. So in terms of, but also it's been sort of fairly crudely. It's not like a lifelike depiction of a paw print. But what you can tell is that it doesn't look like any specific creature that you know of, but it is a sort of like a big clawed paw that's sort of like that's been painted up on the wall. But yeah, it doesn't look exactly like any creature you know of. Again, that have to take a certain amount of consideration for the fact that it's been painted. It's not like an actual paw print.
It's sort of relatively crude in some ways.
Yes.
Is it close enough that somebody could go over to it, or one of us could go over to it?
You'd have to make your way around to the harbor wall. But you could theoretically get closer, yes.
Are people avoiding it?
Yep. I mean, you can see that there's not a lot of hustle and bustle, which is unusual for this time of day when you visit the docks. It's usually a bit busier. And also, you're very aware as you kind of look around, the people who are in the docks are not looking over at that wall. There's a distinct sense of unease about its presence.
What's the guard presence like here?
You do see some guards. Here, this is one of the sort of more neutral areas again in Delzimer, because all of the families have, the satrap families have a stake in making sure trade is operating properly. So here it's mostly Nagra guards, as well as some presence from the different family militias where they have a ship that's coming in or out at that time. So just sort of historically what it's like. Right now, there are, on the, if you recall, you guys kind of came in on one of the quieter parts of the dock. Well, that's where you got on at least. So you're sort of like off on the far right end of the harbor. The larger ships that are associated with those families tend to be more in the middle. So there's a bit more activity there. You see the militia there and the various different garbs of the families. And then there's a couple of Nagra guards sort of standing idly by, just making sure no one's doing anything too outrageous.
Okay, when the boat's settled, I'll approach one of the guards. After we get kind of, well, unless the Captain Addard has anything to say to us.
It just says, appreciated you being aboard. You pay well, so if you need to go somewhere again, let me know. Might not be here, but I know in the past you've been able to reach out, so you can always try that. Smokey, what's your plans now?
I will be traveling with them now.
Okay. I understand. I had a feeling that was coming. Look, you're always welcome aboard. If you decide that traveling with them doesn't feel good anymore, let me know. And you're always welcome back, okay?
I certainly will. Thank you.
And Addard comes over and gives you a firm handshake and sends you on your way.
Bardor shakes his head. He's like, these people.
Goodbye, Marka.
Goodbye. Thank you for not letting the Hydra kill me.
And you other guys, who I don't think have spoken.
And nor are they about. Actually, I'm trying to think if anyone ever did. They may have done briefly during the Hydra thing. but I don't know. Who can say? Not me. You were just checking to see if I remembered Marcus' voice, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait till we go see Cater again to see what he sounds like this time.
The enemy of the story.
Yeah, stick around.
Okay, so you, Severus is going over to one of the guards?
Yeah, he's just... And yeah, walking up to the guard, once he realizes the guard kind of acknowledge or recognizes that he's approaching him, because it's obvious that Severus is walking straight towards him. But he kind of just looks back towards the wall area and points to it, and he's,
"What exactly is going on here?"
What do you mean? Someone painted something on the wall.
Not just something, however.
Alright, fine. Someone painted a paw on the wall.
Did you see them?
No.
Severus looks around. He's double checking, making sure that people are kind of avoiding it, paying no attention to it.
And why does everyone seem to treat it as something more than just nothing?
It's icky.
Icky.
Yeah. You want to deal with that? Because I don't. That's not my job, mate.
Define icky.
I don't like it. It don't make me feel good. So I don't mess with it. That's probably what everyone else is doing too.
Did it just suddenly appear? Or did something happen before?
I mean, it was there this morning. It wasn't there when I was on my shift yesterday. Suddenly, I don't know. I wasn't here overnight, so I assume someone painted it overnight.
Are there people that stay guard at night here?
Yep.
And where are they?
Probably sleeping. They'll be on shift again tonight.
I think while they're discussing, Eska's gonna trot over to it and see if she can ascertain if it really is blood.
Okay. So it's going to be, you're going to have to walk to the end of the dock, and there's a little sort of wooden staircase that leads up to the top of the walls. Because the wall's like 20 feet up from the where the dock is. So you have to kind of walk up. As you do that though, you look out, you can look back across Delta, you get a great view of the city.
She enjoys
it's
it.
Probably the best view you've had. You can see across to the Fulworth. You can see South Delsmer area. You can see the tower there, where the Drakesguard have a little outpost in Delsmer, and then you can see the city wall, like hugging the city in. And as you walk closer to where the paw is painted, the smell in your nose is already getting stronger. You're not going to need to make a roll for this. As soon as you kind of get above where it is on the wall and you kind of peer over, you can see the red. You guys have been in enough fights to know exactly what blood looks like and what blood smells like. That's definitely blood.
Can I?
Now, what kind of blood? That's a much more different question.
Can I ascertain what kind of blood it is?
So it is, it's like probably 3 feet down the tip of it. So it's kind of awkward to reach. You'd have to figure out a way of getting something down there to access it.
And so that brings its own interesting question. Does that mean it's in an area of the wall that would be awkward for a regular person to paint?
Yeah, it's not easy.
They'd have had to like use ladders or scaffolding or something.
Yeah, it's like a 20-foot wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like in the middle of, like vertically, it's in the middle. And it's like 12, 15 feet. So
what's at the bottom of the wall? See?
At that point, yes, you've come out to where there's just water at the bottom of this part of the wall.
Okay, I have a plan, but I'll let them finish their talking first.
I'm gonna cast levitate on one of us to go down. So I'm looking back through my notes. This paw resembles the same one on the walls when we were leaving, right?
Yes, you've now seen the symbol. I think at least 3 times.
Yeah,
there was one.
We saw it on the horse ride
in
as
South
well.
Belsimer as well.
Ah. That's all right. And
But this is my first time singing it, right?
Second, because you were on the boat with us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you would have seen it on the way out.
Okay.
Although at that point, you probably wouldn't have cared because you were just a sailor back then.
Yeah.
No offense. You were just an NPC.
A non-player cat.
And sorry, we probably knew this, but is Millar's like a mortal or a being?
Yeah, so that would have been discussed. Millar is very much an evil deity.
Deity, okay.
Associated with... It's tricky. It's like the dark side of nature. So savagery, hunting, that sort of thing.
Not necessarily evil.
Yeah, it probably depends who you ask.
Yeah.
As to exactly how that's handled. It's a sort of thing where, there's probably in most cities, there's not going to be a big temple to Millar. But there may be a shrine somewhere that is not necessarily frequently visited, but, there may be a presence. But it's definitely, certainly, druid circles, there's going to be druid circles that revere Millar because it's just a part of the circle of life, essentially. But, yeah, there's always going to be negative connotations because of some of that savagery that comes.
Would it be like
something.
Would it be popular with like barbarian tribes and stuff as well, potentially?
Absolutely could be, yeah. Yeah. That aspect of hunting and sort of the primacy of your group makes sense with a barbarian tribe or something like that, yeah.
Now, we did see, because when we sailed out, there was figures standing on the wall above it, wasn't there?
Yes.
There was
that's correct.
Some kind of fishy creature. I can't remember which one.
Triton? Yes.
Yeah. And I think they watched us sail out, sort of intently.
They did, yeah.
So we also have that in the memory banks. I'm assuming I don't see anybody up on the wall when I'm up there.
No. No, you do not see anybody else up on the wall right now. On the other side, the way the harbor wall works, there's like a big opening for the ships to go in and out. And on the other side, you do see a guard right now that's just sort of walking on top of the wall on the other side.
Okay.
This side is currently unguarded.
Just one more refresher question. In our interactions with Rolliver, we didn't get any impression that he was involved with this group. I mean, his Red Fangs, Red Claw, just like, was there any overt connections there?
I don't believe that there had been any connections made, no. Until just now, apparently.
Guilty.
As you're sort of like doing this, one of the little kids that you see often running and delivering messages comes up from the sort of the main port area down the dock and kind of looks at you guys trying to figure it out, looks down at a piece of paper, gives a little nod, and then hurries over to Claire and just hands a letter to Claire, and Claire's like, quickly fumbles in a pocket and hands over a coin. And then the kid just kind of stands there, and she's like, "Oh, do you need a response?" And he nods. "Yes." "Okay, let me read." And so Claire quickly opens the letter, reads it. And you just see her face fall. And she turns to the group and just says, I'm sorry. It's me, ma'am. She's fallen sick. This letter, do you remember the dwarf fella that I met in Badgerdown? He was friends with my uncle. He got word and sent it through because he knew I was here. I'm gonna have to go. I'm sorry. You know where to reach me. I'll be in the Dales. Apparently we can get letters around pretty quick because it's not that long that we were in Badgertown. But look, I'm sorry. I wish there was more. I don't like to do this, but it's me, ma'am. And she just kind of pauses for a moment, looking at you all. And then immediately just runs and hugs Cosette.
We understand. You have to go. Be where you need to be.
Eska senses something is going on and she runs back along the wall.
Yeah, you would have absolutely seen that. Because just while you're sort of looking at it, you would have seen the kid run over. Claire's eyes do that thing where they just well up. Get very, very watery. She's managing to keep the tears in for now, but it's tough. And she quickly hurries back over to Adard and just says, What's the quickest way to get to the Dales from here? And they have a little conversation, and then I have to look back at and he says, she says, trying to remember what I said for Adard. Now it's been too long. Adard says, get on one of the wagons that's heading north, and then you can get across on a ship on the Sea of Fallen Stars. That'll be the quickest way. I says, Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Well, look, if we're going into town, I can come with you some of the way, but I gotta find someone who's leaving and heading north, so I can get with them.
Is there anything we can do to help you?
Well, I know you're not all as religious as I am, but if you could say a prayer, that might help. Obviously, hopefully, my training has prepared me for something like this and I can help her, but I don't know. The message was a bit low on details. I'm not really sure what I'm going back to find, but hopefully I can make a difference.
While she's explaining that, Silvaris has a very upset look on his face. And he looks as if he's about to say something, but his face settles a little, and he actually turns and walks to the edge of the dock, and he keeps his back to her, and he's keeping an ear listening, but he's not looking.
I know I can reach out to you. I don't know if you have any way to reach out to me while
We will find a way.
I'm gone.
We will find a way. Because without you,
I'll try to check in.
we are much more limited, so we will have to search our inventiveness.
I'll try and make it back as soon as I can. But, it's just, they need me.
Well, do keep us, let us know what is going on.
I will, as soon as I get back. I know it's probably going to take a while before I can even get back. But, as soon as I'm back, I'll let you know what's happening and we can see where we go from there.
Hey, in case you need costs covered, and Eska will place into her hand a black pearl worth 300 gold. In case you come across problems on the journey.
Thank you. And she just grabs Eska in a tight hug, which I imagine is not something Eska's particularly used to.
No, but she...
Not recently anyway?
She's not, but she does reciprocate.
Mm.
When she gets her breath back.
Thank you. Okay, I need to go try and find someone. I'm gonna head into the center of town and see what I can find there. And she kind of tries to compose herself and gives each a hug in turn, and then kind of looks and sees Silvaris is looking away, and kind of walks up and just gives a little poke on the arm.
Without looking at her, he just says,
"Don't forget what you have left over at Simlin's."
And he remains looking away.
Okay. And she scurries off towards South Elsmer to pick up her gear.
When she gets out of earshot, he utters real low to himself,
Be careful.
We could always go with her. Think of the side quests.
her family does own a brewery. Just saying, it's like a vacation.
I mean, we have a
Sure they do.
clear main path to the plot, but I mean, when have we ever followed that?
Eska will distractedly wander back over to the wall.
Have you figured out how you're gonna get your sample?
Yeah, she just jumps off.
Just slides down the wall.
Yeah. Featherfall's only going to work for a few moments. I think we're going to go with levitate. So yeah, she will just step off the side of the wall and cast levitate as she drops and just sort of float down a little ways until she is level with the blood, and then she'll sort of try and smear it a little with her fingers, see if it comes off.
Yes, it does.
And then she'll give it a closer sniff and I mean, she's a hunter, she'll probably taste it as well.
Okay. So just getting a taste for it and a feel for it. Probably not humanoid. But it's something similar, maybe boar. Feels right, and I would imagine that Eska's had some experience with boar blood in the past.
Oh, Eska's had some experience with boar blood.
More disconcerting than anticipated.
You were the one that threw them at us. Does it look like it was? I guess the other question is, how does it look like it was applied? Was it brushed on? Was it smeared on by hand? Was it sort of,
Certainly, it was. There's not fine brushstrokes. This was something crudely done. Something was just sort of like splattered against the wall and dragged and smeared.
Okay.
There's no boar corpses at the base of this wall, right?
Well, I mean, so directly beneath is the water. So...
Well, in the water.
You don't see any boars floating in the water currently, no.
Okay.
She'll float back up to the top of the wall and step onto it. Actually, she'll float... she'll float down to the sea, she'll wash off her hand, and then she'll float back up to the top of the wall and step onto it, and come back to the party.
Yep. Nice.
While they're doing that, I think Cassette's going to go up to the guard, either that guard or whoever is closest, and just kind of like be, I mean, realistic, but kind of innocent about it, and just say like, people we should stay away from? We've been gone for a little while, and is there any parts of town we should worry about, or just trying to get like some casual information from?
General rule of thumb, probably best to stay away from people painting giant bloody paw prints. But other than that, I don't know. No one's telling me that any part of town's been worse than any other.
Know what these people look like? Do they?
No, I
do
told
they
you.
do it in secret?
I wasn't here, so I don't know.
But nobody knows?
Well, the people who were guarding are asleep.
I just meant in general, these people clearly want to be... They want their message out, but they don't want to... They don't make it clear who they are.
Well, they haven't come up to me and said, "Excuse me, can I interest you in talking about whoever?" And, you know, I haven't been given any flyers or pamphlets.
Fair enough. I just thought you might be a little more informed, but clearly the case. Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Look, technically, right, my job, keep the peace. Peaceful right now, so I'm keeping it pretty good, I reckon.
Fair enough.
At least it was peaceful until you lot came over asking me questions.
Oh, this is peaceful?
It was.
You think this isn't peaceful?
Keep yammering.
You must be new. Okay, well, thank you for your time. She'll just kind of jog away in a jaunty fashion. That didn't work.
There was the other guard who's not really been doing any of the talking as you kind of walk off. He kind of says, as you're about to walk off.
Yeah, sure. We'll go over.
I heard something about shadows on the walls, in the docks. Not just last night, other nights too. I don't know who, I don't know what, but that's part of why it's so quiet. 'Cause people are nervous here, alright? He's in denial at the moment, I think. He's decided that it's going to be fine. But I'm not sure. If you know anything about this, you want to deal with it, go ahead. Prefer you not to do it here, because then it's not peaceful anymore, you know? But
Sure.
You ask any of the dockers, they'll tell you the same. Something's wrong. And those people have been drifting in and out of the shadows.
Is it mainly here or all over town?
Here for sure, and heard something about the West Gate as well, heading out towards the road that leads towards Badgedown.
Well, we don't mean any trouble. We're just trying to make sure we could protect ourselves and protect
I know
anybody
that.
else in the town.
I can tell the difference between troublemakers and not. You guys look like you
As
typically
Eska goes
end
floating
trouble.
by.
Go with blood hands.
Bloody hands.
And the guard actually sees that and is just like, "Yeah. Well, I was mostly right."
Not with us.
We don't know her.
She'll just then come in. When she gets back, she'll relay that information. You said Westgate?
Yeah.
Was that where we went through that gate when we saw that? I assume that was, we saw it once before.
That's what I thought, yeah.
You were at the south gate.
Oh, exactly.
South.
That's what I thought too.
So,
But we hadn't seen that one then.
no, you haven't seen anything over at the west gate.
Can I just say there's too many gates in too many cities?
It's just it's just the way things are done back then.
Yeah.
You wall your city, and then you need to get through your wall. What are you going to do? You're going to go through a gate. It's perfectly reasonable.
You can levitate over to Puresco.
That's true.
I need no gates.
Yeah.
Gates. Where we're going, we don't need gates.
Well,
So they clearly are okay with slowing down the docks. Like they're not. It seems like if they were trying to steal something, they wouldn't want to scare trade away or scare people away. So I don't know what motive is.
it is, the suggestion seemed to be that the first time the symbol was painted was, the day we left, and then the next time, of the 2 times it's been painted here, it was when we came back. Is that right, Phil?
Yeah, that seems accurate to what you've heard, at least.
So that is a strange coincidence. I'm not suggesting I have any idea why that would be, other than that's interesting. I don't know if we can do much more other than, well, I suppose we could stake it out overnight if we feel so inclined. But we also have our own things to follow up on in the meantime, I suppose.
I think this might be, if we were going to go look at talk to the Fae Court, this might be something they have some knowledge on.
Yes.
Nature aspects.
I guess as of right now, it is technically not our problem.
It's going to be.
I mean, everything seems to end up that way, but...
He said, just to clarify, Phil, he said he saw shadows.
Yep.
Like people are. Did he say it in a way that like people are seeing shadows? That's why they're scared, or the shadows are the ones that put up the. Like, did they see shadows once and that's what put up the paint, or are people seeing shadows and that's kind of leading to an ongoing fear?
I would say that the implication you got was the second option, that people are seeing shadows.
Okay.
I'll say shadows with a lowercase s.
Yeah.
As opposed to the undead creature.
Yeah. So that kind of corroborates what we saw leaving then.
Well, I suppose we should make our way back to town for the moment.
Where are you headed?
Where are we headed?
Where are you headed?
I'm sorry.
No, I was just keeping saying it for no good reason.
Oh. Savaris summons Kedox and telepathically tells him to search the city broadly, looking for more of these paw prints, and sends them off. And once he's done, come back. And he comes back to the group. He was listening.
Before we address the court, Gethin seemed to know them, or at least was in contact. We should perhaps meet with him first. And of course, Rolovar, being somewhat of a major player in the docks may have information. As little as I prefer to deal with him.
Well, Gethin has always been friendly to us, so perhaps we make our way there. See if he's on his bench.
He has not been hostile, but I would not say friendly.
He has been watching us.
That's interesting coming from you, Silverius, but, you know, we'll see.
I know not what you mean.
Alright, so you head towards South Delsmer then? Your old stomping grounds?
You still have the map there somewhere?
Oh yeah.
The old nostalgia map?
Silvarius did bring it up with, well, we didn't know about it because we weren't listening in on the conversation, so I don't really know, but a lot of our stuff is with, I think, was Semlin. Should we drop off our stuff there?
Yeah, I figure if we're heading back to that district, we at least discuss it. One of us has got to be like, hey, yeah, my stuff.
Do we want to incorporate that as, you know, head to Semlins, grab the stuff, and then head to Gethin? I mean, it's not the biggest area, so
we should get our stuff back. Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody need to talk to Semlin, or is it one of those things we can sort of doodly?
I mean, but while we're walking through town, like, just is there anything out of the ordinary that we can see on the way?
Anyone's welcome to make a perception check as you travel.
Because we're coming from the east.
Yes, coming from the east and the dock, and heading in towards the south. So you'll kind of go past the main route. Kind of takes you towards the Falworth and then south. So you'll be coming in near the two halves into South Delsmer area.
Stop by.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, Gelmgurd's. See if they got new furniture in stock.
Yes.
Is there a sale?
Going out of business?
It does appear to be a sale.
Oh.
But I'm not sure they're going out of business.
Oh.
Just a sale.
Not worth it then.
Under new ownership.
I'm going to do a quick little divine sense while we're still at the docks, and then just on the travel be looking in the shadows. That's kind of what...
Alrighty, remind me what Divine Sense does again?
Oh, darn. Oh, that's Divine Smite.
Use that. Divine Smite.
That's different.
Much
Got a different
Divine
thing.
Sense
Oh, it's only...
is doing stuff with the sensing desecrated.
It's 60
or...
feet. Celestial Fiend, Undead, or an object with Hallow spell. I don't...
Okay.
It's only 60 feet, so...
Yeah, no,
Doesn't it give you a sense of what if things are desecrated or consecrated as well?
One of those
The
things
actual
does.
spell.
The problem is there's more than one thing that has a similar effect, and it's remembering which thing does which effect.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so you don't pick up any of the creatures. You would sense that the the wall would kind of register as desecrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so it seems to be an actual group. I mean, it's not just teenagers graffiti.
You don't know that.
It's true.
Teenagers are often kind of shady. Can't trust them.
But whoever did it, I mean, at least they had, I guess, just a symbol of a deity. Probably be magical. I was just thinking they would probably have to believe it or something like that to be like.
Yeah, I would say your training would probably prepare you for that sort of information.
Yeah.
That yes, just the act of painting it isn't enough, but you know, there could be a rite or something like that.
It was considered. I'm sorry, I was looking at something else, but it was considered magical. There was some magical essence to it.
I just assumed that. I was just saying it was desecrated.
Desecration.
It felt like desecrated, so
Okay.
it wasn't just like paint on a wall, like graffiti, like just kind of a joke trying to scare some. Which I don't think any. I mean, we didn't think it was, but so I was just kind of assuming that whoever did it had like some sort of intention behind it enough that it left some sort of presence.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh, it sounds good. Oh,
Well,
It was you all along.
shrugs. It's like, it's Tuesday.
And then roll my terrible perception check of.
Yeah, what day is Tuesday?
it's just the 4th. I don't know what to tell you, man. They don't name their days.
They just
my
have a
perception
10-day.
was a 6. Not good.
Yeah.
Wait, they don't have days of the week?
I don't think so.
It's just like the 4 of 10. First
Yeah.
4 of 10.
Let me double check.
I can't remember. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure that they do have.
Yeah,
names.
they don't have formal names.
Oh, wow.
So it's just the 4th day of the first 10 day.
Okay.
It'll just be the 4th of Uktar. I don't bother naming the days.
I suppose you don't really need to in some ways.
According to the Forgotten Realms fandom wiki. Which is where I get all of my calendar of Harptoth data.
I guess Eska will also be on the lookout for any random moon elves as we pass through Delsmer as well.
Okay, make a perception check.
Oh.
Cosette, you're not seeing a lot else.
Yeah, I feel like she's like thinking about it more. She's like going through the motions of looking while she's walking, but I think she's like so caught in her thoughts that she's not doing a good job.
18. Got it. So, Eska, you don't see any moon elves?
That's a relief.
You do get, as you're kind of looking around, walking through the city, you do get that feeling like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a bit. And you get the feeling that someone's watching you.
Getting used to that feeling now.
Yeah, looking around, you don't. There's no one obviously watching.
Is there
But you
any,
just feel watched.
birds of prey circling above?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay, so you make it to the South Delsma area, and you should be on the map and able to move yourselves wherever you want to go.
Are we individually on there?
You are individually on there, yes. Whoa! That's some very fast moving all of a sudden.
Funny when you hold the key down.
Creep. And then just...
I walk through the Drake Warden guardhouse. The shortest path.
Okay.
No.
You are dead. You like to roll up a new character?
Over my dead body.
That's correct.
Entirely, yes.
I think basically all I need to pick up is my bow. And I don't like Summoning Smith House, so I'm just gonna, walk in, grab my bow and walk out with a little wave. Do we really leave them with
like
Semlin?
nothing ever happened.
What?
Basically, we do the same.
Did you not leave it in the
Feels like
undercroft of the shrine?
Yeah, it feels like we'd have left them in the shrine.
I misremembered that.
I walk into
should have not
Semlin's,
forgot it was
look
only
around
5
for a
in-game
while.
days.
Very recent.
Where's our
Like-
stuff?
Similar.
Hold him over the anvil,
arm.
Yeah.
and then Silveria says, "Oh, actually, I remember it was in the Shrine of Martin." Sorry.
Oh. Okay.
Whoopsie daisy.
Claire is still there being like, where's my stuff?
Have to retcon that.
Sorry, Claire figured it out. She's good. She was like, "Oh, as usual, Severus is wrong." And went to the right place immediately. Yeah. So you head into the Shrine of Moradin.
Is Kaylee there?
It's not really a proper visit to Delsmer if we don't go and visit Kaylee.
I feel like it's 2 or 3 times a day.
And more importantly, does Kaylee look at Barder in a way that makes him feel guilty enough to have to give more of his gold up?
Oh, you remembered that? Did you?
Of course. Yeah, Kaylee's in there. No sign of Gerda right now. But yeah, Kaylee says, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while."
There's a loud thunk in the back as I drop a gold in.
Oh, blessings to you, Bardor. Always appreciate your generosity. I take it you're back for your things. It's all still down there. Just tucked away in the corner.
Yoink.
Severius, when you come back up, a word with you, please.
A nod of acknowledgement. And he descends the stairs.
Yep, you're able to find all your old gear. I imagine you probably then spend 5 or 10 minutes, depending, getting re-equipped back to your normal stuff. Some of you, it's less time, but obviously those in heavy armor takes a while to get everything strapped back on properly.
Can't even remember what I used to wear.
You were in, I believe, some lovely armor.
Eldath, right? Weirdly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do we have to do the 20 minutes of inventory management where you try out all the different weapon combinations to see if anything's changed since we've been somewhere else.
Just looking for that, yeah, min-max bonus.
Uh-huh. I forgot I picked up this armor that does this.
Turn around and Barter looks the exact same. I'm just like, what? I picked up all my stuff.
It's all just strapped to you in various different bags and...
Felt naked without all this stuff. Like, literally doesn't look any different.
I mean, we can't see you anyway.
That's true.
It's very well lit down there.
Okay.
You just hear a voice.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Still here.
So yeah, as you get ready, you heading straight back up?
Yeah, but he will leave the Breath of Bahamut right where it's at. Resting.
I'll walk outside and say, "Good seeing you, Kaylee," and then I'll drop in like 3 copper pieces.
Like, I need to get rid of those. They're weighing you down. And Tavares, as you come up, Kaylee, gestures you to come over to one side.
He walks over.
And there's while you were gone, I got a message from the Order. They're sending someone in the next day or two to come speak with you. Apparently it wasn't something that could be discussed through a proxy such as myself or any other means, so I'm not exactly sure who was coming, but it should be here in, like I said, in a day or two. Something important to discuss with you. So just be prepared, I suppose.
They are coming to here.
Aye. They said it might have something to do with Kedox. That's as much as they gave me.
Aye. There is something strange going on. We are in the midst of figuring things out. I will try to be as available as I can.
Sounds good. Fortunately you cut quite a recognizable figure, so if you're not nearby when they arrive, I'll send the runners out to try and find you in town.
Aye. Thank you.
And he turns like he was about to leave, and he looks down at the 3 copper that Barter put in there.
Just a gold too, thank you.
And a gold?
Yeah. An entry fee and an exit fee.
And he nods and he heads out. Everybody else was outside.
Yeah. Oh, I was.
And so Tavares, he'll just say to everyone then,
I may not be able to go far from Delzimer over the next 1 or 2 days.
I feel like that's not too bad a thing. Get our bearings back in town here.
And there should be much to figure out.
Indeed.
Where to next?
he kind of looks over to the dried bunch.
That building still standing?
It probably wouldn't hurt
It is still
to
standing,
check
right?
up on Keita.
It is still standing. I can
Glad I
confirm.
made that correct assumption.
Yeah. And as you look over to it, it's probably about 9 o'clock now. As you look over, there is a strange sort of yellowy orange smoke coming out of the chimney at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I will march happily in so I can get some new tobacco.
Just ignore Cater altogether.
But do I know you?
Eska will follow, and if Cater's there, she'll ask, did Claire pop in on her way through?
Cater looks up. He is currently he has hair on just half of his head. No eyebrow, no hair on this side at all. He looks up enthusiastically and says, "Oh, hello. Yes, good to see you all. Yeah, Claire did come in earlier, and it was very good to see her again. She gave me an idea of what was going on, and yeah. But yeah, I was happy to see her.
All good here?
Also, she gave me this," and he holds up a Day of Deliverance mug that Claire had smuggled back from Drakesburg. Got to add it to my collection. Yes, all's been good here. We're still working on trying to disseminate all of the best we can from the Chimera, actually. It's been quite a challenge. There's a lot of parts, and now some of them are starting to get a bit spongy and slimy, so it's hard work, and we're trying to preserve things as best we can. There's the challenge with such a big creature. It's very difficult to successfully extract everything you can out of it before it turns to mush. And then you've got to deal with the mush that you didn't extract from, so yeah. But yeah, no, good. It's going well.
This is Smokey. He's helping us.
Oh, hi. Well, you've got a lot more hair than I do.
Indeed.
That's a good thing you don't work here. You'd not be happy, I don't think.
I can't remember if we told you,
Ingrid-
but this is Cater. He's the other person who came through the whatever that was that we did. That the weird rift situation.
Ah.
Yeah. It's just one of quite a lot of strange days I've had recently. Actually. Ainfrin just looks over, and you see Ainfrin's got like this glorious flowing hair. Just losing one's hair is not requisite for working here. You do understand that, Cater. And he just sort of like looks a bit sheepish. And, well, yeah, if you need anything, yeah, I'm sure Ingfrin will happily sell it to you. For now, I need to stop this thing from boiling over. And turns around and you can see that whatever was making the weird smoke is currently on a desk beside him, bubbling away quite ferociously. So Bador is purchasing some more smokeweed? Yeah, I think you were quite low. Because you only bought limited supplies on the island. So yes, you pleased to find out that Ingfrin has a goodly stock, and you can probably spend literally as much as you want to buying very fancy or very mundane pipeweed.
Normally I would just go for mundane, but like the stuff over in Drakesburg was really poor, so I'm going to actually go with a little bit higher quality this time.
Yeah.
And go honestly, because I was just like, didn't like that, so I'm going to get a month's worth.
How much would that be?
All the good stuff, let's think. I mean, that's probably still only like 2 gold, I would think, if I'm mathing correctly.
Can do. Hand it over happily.
All right. Anyone want to do anything else in here?
Just how are we on like just kind of healing potions or that sort of thing? I looked and I have one regular, 0 greater. Do they have any for sale or?
Yes. Yeah, he has right now he has 5 available. Been working hard on those. And they are 45 gold each. Thanks to your discount.
Do we want to get any while we're...
I have 1 in my inventory.
I also have 1.
A regular.
Yeah.
I have 2 healing potions.
Bardor, you got any?
I have 1, but I don't mind buying another one just in case.
Okay. Actually, we had more than I thought, but I mean, we have money, so. Want to buy 2 or 3 more?
Yeah, it sounds good to have a couple of extras. If you want to hang on to them, that's fine.
No problem.
What is a platinum again?
10.
Oh, 10 gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, if we buy 4, then everyone will have 2. Let's just do that.
It sounds solid.
Okay.
Did you going to distribute them then?
Yeah, I'll buy them with the group fund, and then I'll...
Okay, I'm gonna add a second one to my inventory then.
Bardor nods and gives a
Same.
happy grunt. So,
What's that sound like?
Alright, so 180 gold, Phil?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. I've made sure to add Bardor grunts happily to my notes. I feel like that's a noteworthy event. Let's take a little pause here, and then we'll pick up with, I believe, you probably heading towards
Gethin.
Gethin.
Yeah.
Groovy. All right, back in a couple minutes.
Groovy.
It's very fun seeing you do Silveris' face.
I finally look. I don't see myself when I'm doing it, so I'm cool.
It does add. It's funny because obviously I'm used to hearing it.
Yeah.
Yes, you become Silveris.
It's the whole
You almost
thing.
see the scales.
When I like figured him out, it was like you've got to be him.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm one of those heavy typers,
Yeah.
Like we've had calls, like when I've been on the phone for work stuff, and they're like, "What did that keyboard do to you?" Like, no, it's just how I type, man.
I just realized because we got a bunch of these Halloween backdrop decorations. I really need to whip one of those out.
Yeah.
Like the fake stone wall and the alchemist's display.
oh yeah, for every place we go to, you have to do a
Hold on, guys.
So let's dive back in as you head over to see Gethin.
Is he outside?
Who's leading the way? Yeah, of course he is. He loves being outside.
I guess I'll somewhat lead the way. I'm more excited about this than going in a dwarf shrine.
Offense.
I'll be too far
intended and
behind.
taken, I'm sure.
I talk to him from the tree next door. Esco.
You know.
Yeah, so you head on over, and Gethin is sitting outside as he often does. And he currently has the bird known as Rari on his left hand. And he seems to be having a little chat.
Hello. Were you expecting us?
I was expecting you, yes, actually.
I figured you might be.
Seems you had a relatively uneventful trip back. That's nice.
Yes. Sounds like it's been eventful here in town, though. Down by the docks.
Yes. I wish it was just by the docks. But yes, something seems to be happening.
Any thoughts you can fill us in?
Well, so yes. I should start by saying that I have been speaking with our friends in the woods, and they have some concerns as well. I don't know. It's hard to say if there's any connection, I don't know, but they've been talking about disturbances and shadows in the woods again. I know you helped before. I imagine this might be something similar to last time, maybe worse, maybe different, I'm not sure. I haven't gone exploring to find out because I don't tend to do that myself. But yes, as far as the activities down at the docks, best I can figure out, I suspect it's the same people who did whatever happened on the wall down here. And over at the west gate, there's another one.
Does your any of your friends have any knowledge of what might be happening?
Worryingly, no.
Hmm.
Normally this is something we would probably have some idea about, but whoever's doing this is very good at keeping a low profile. Which is more than I can say for you. You were not exactly subtle, shall we say, over on the island.
I don't know what you mean. We just went for a quick reconnaissance mission. And straight back.
I mean, we both know that's not entirely true.
Sometimes things get a little, you get a little more involved than you plan.
I see. How was the castle, by the way?
I mean, the bit we visited, not very nice.
I see.
We probably
All right.
we didn't get the full tour.
No, well, that's not really surprising.
But I feel like we did get a feel for life over on the island, and I don't think any of us really like it.
No, well, that's why I'm here and not over there. I've got my halfling friend over there tends to keep an eye on things for me. Well, and of course, Jester Serari gives me a little under the chin.
That's who that halfling was.
Yeah, a friend. Just keeping an eye on you, making sure you're okay. Hoping you don't fall afoul of the guards over there, or that sort of thing.
I mean, we mostly didn't.
That's what matters then.
Yeah. There's a lot going on above ground and a lot going on below ground.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Remind me of your interests in Drakesburg. I know your organization has feelings about it, but how do you feel about it?
It's it has a rather disruptive presence in the area. I don't know that it's necessarily I don't know this necessarily great the way it imposes itself on everything.
I guess including its influence over here with the
Indeed.
the wardens and
Indeed.
such.
Right, I don't really understand how they managed to negotiate the tower. I don't approve of it particularly. For one thing, it's rather close. I like, I would prefer it if they weren't overlooking everything the way they do.
I get the impression you're not alone in that feeling amongst some of the other folk in town here.
I would imagine the vast majority of people feel that way, yes.
What else did we want to check in about? I know it's been a long few days, and it's hard to keep it all in one's mind. Was that was the elf? I don't believe the elf was coming to Gethin.
Sure.
Yeah, we might need to be a bit more specific about which elf. A lot of elves here.
I guess Bardo feels like you probably saw the elf anyway.
Oh, that elf.
Not this one.
Yeah.
This one.
No, I did see an elf.
Pointing up at Eska, the other.
Right. No, I did see an elf, but nothing to do with me. I believe she's left town already.
As quickly out of let's pull out for a second, and not be talking to Gethin for a sec. How much do we know about the relationship between the Velvety Hand and the other guys, the Calm? Are they called the Calm, or am I making that up?
The Calm was
That
on
is the-
Drakesburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be two different organizations, and I believe we were helping the elf for the Calm.
Right. That's correct. You were.
I don't know if we, amongst ourselves, have established... Because it's one of those things where do you mention secret societies to each other? You know, so...
They're the same group from my side. So it's probably you're like, all right, shut up. Come here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in conversations, I'm trying to think what you've been told.
I don't even know if they brought
believe
each other
that-
up.
So the Calm is very much, yes, a group isolated on Drakesburg.
And they're kind of almost like a
/n.
liberation society to try and liberate Drakesburg from the powers that be.
Right. The Velvet Glove is an organization that operates in the wider area, including Drakesburg. They have interests over there, obviously. And you've been led to believe that not everyone in the Velvet Glove feels the same way about it.
Yeah, there's a bit of a split between how they feel about Drakesburg's influence, essentially.
Right.
That makes this conversation a bit tricky. Because Eska's not sure if she wants to sort of throw the calm out there, even though, I mean, you'd assume that the glove knows about the calm, but, you know.
We could always, like, just bring up the interests of the calm and leave the name out. Like, does he know about the mages? What is his thoughts on the potentate with his inside man? And
that's not a bad.
Just leave the calm silent.
Yeah.
Snatched Bardor, pulls him away, huddle. And then he's just
he's just like.
Yes, there's it seems over there that there is the people of the island feel somewhat similarly to the people over here, where there are some who are happy and some who aren't. And I don't know how much influence the glove has over there. Or how much knowledge of that?
Oh, not knowledge. We have plenty. Our currency.
Okay. Did you, I suppose I could ask then, did you see what happened to the elf that landed a day or so before us? You know where they went? Are they okay?
Yes, they're fine.
Did they leave town, do you know?
Yes, they left town.
Okay.
I don't know where to, necessarily.
As long as they're safe.
They headed east, I think. That's about as much as I know right now.
Okay.
Seemed in fine health at the time.
Is there anything... I appreciate that you shared information from the conclave. Is there any other goings-on that you felt you wanted to share?
You mean from the court?
I mean anything that takes your interest.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think they would like to speak with you.
Mm-hmm.
Since you were helpful before, I think they believe you could be useful in helping resolve that issue this time around. My understanding is that maybe maybe an escalation of what had happened previously. Was a little unclear. I think in part because they're not really sure exactly what's going on, you know?
Yes.
Do we remember what that was about? The before?
I mean, so we helped them by clearing out the werebores. I remember that, and then they were also worried about the purveyor, and they had caught they had a runaway drow, I want to say, who many of us were not that friendly with.
Right?
Yeah, and they were sort of holding him prisoner, and we sort of offered him, when we go after the purveyor, will you come with us to try and end it? So as I remember, those are the two things that the court were worried about.
So they said there's something to do with shadows have been increasing for months.
So I don't know if this could be a new problem, or if they feel like, or if there is some feeling like the stuff that we've encountered before was just beginnings of this, or I don't know. I guess we would have to ask.
Did Gethin know about the purveyor? Like, explicitly? Or just kind of, I can't remember if we mentioned it to him.
I think I missed a word or two there.
Yeah, just the key
Yeah, I
words.
feel like you cut out in the main part of what you were saying.
Weird.
Like, just the most important words. You said, did Gethin explicitly?
What I said was, did Gethin?
That's what we heard.
And, you know, about the... I'm not messing
That's
with you.
exactly what happened.
No, did Gethin know about the purveyor?
Did Gethin
I can't remember our
Ooh.
discussions with him.
I don't remember
I
fully,
don't know
but
that's a conversation.
I mean, probably.
He does know the core and the bore, or kind of, I guess, creeping corruption of the land.
Yeah. Because there was also, I think, it was after we killed the undead things in the temple that we encountered the court. Or am I making that up?
Yes.
Because they were kind of near there.
First,
Boffin's Tor.
yeah, the Tor of Bofin, which is sort of out of the south gate, down towards the woods. That you went from there into the woods, and that's where you eventually came across the court.
Yeah, because we heard
And then
a fight between some undead and the elks or some such. And then the elks, after we rescued them, led us to the court.
Yeah, there are multiple mentions of shadowy problems in the woods.
Yeah.
A knowledge of shadow stuff and whether these guys are, I mean, if they're worried and it's possibly some connection.
It sounds like we very much need to head back in there and remake their association with them.
I think there was some talk about, like, after we'd cleared out the boars, but there was, I think, some more boars that popped up. Or, like, there was more boar activity that popped up.
It's no wonder the sigils are being painted in boar blood. They are all over the place.
Connections.
Mm-hmm.
Getting our beautiful mind moment going.
Ethan, if I may ask real quickly, you have a number of birds here that you train up, right?
I do, yes.
Do you ever consider selling them, or do they ever find other places to go?
From time to time, there are people who might purchase one for their uses. Yes, that has happened.
I had a falcon when I was young, and I very much miss the company. No offense to everybody else.
That's understandable.
But
well,
I don't know if you have any right now, or if it's something you can keep in mind for the future to keep an eye out for.
And it is specifically a falcon you'd be looking for, you think?
Not necessarily. The bird I had was a falcon, but you could just let me know what comes across your path. That might be a good. If they're not
Right,
fully
no, I
trained,
understand.
I can train them, but you know, yeah, I don't want to take a bird from the wild.
Right.
You know, they are.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then. What do you have a size preference?
I think something relatively small. So,
okay.
Probably, yeah,
Right.
falcon or smaller.
And I mean, you know, even the most trained of my birds, you would still have to do some amount of training to, you know, with them to
form a bond,
create the bond that's necessary. Right? Yes.
Yes.
That doesn't happen just overnight. Okay. Yeah. No, I will. I'll have a think and see if I have something suitable. Just, you know, check in with me before you leave town, and I may be able to find something that I think would be a good fit for you.
Thank you. Sorry, I just hearing the mewing of the birds in the background reminded me. But if anybody else has any things they want to discuss with Gethin.
So he'll step forward. And
these symbols of Malar, you know nothing extra about them.
Well, not really, no. I wish that I did, because it's distinctly foreboding. Unfortunately, as I said, the whatever operatives are doing this are doing it in such a way that they're able to evade whatever eyes I have in the area. So yeah, I mean, while I do pride myself on having a lot of knowledge of a lot of things, this is an area where I'm not really too knowledgeable on, and that's mostly down to the fact that, you know, my currency is usually knowledge of what's happening in the towns and the cities. This feels more like the sort of thing that typically happens in the wilds, you know. I suppose if it is associated with Malar, you could try doing some sort of research on Malar and Malarite practices, possibly. I don't know. That might be something you could look into at least.
Maybe a
but
trip
it's not
to
something
the
I have a
maybe a trip to the Fulroof.
In honesty, I don't think they're going to do you much good. Again, that's not really, you know, the Fulroof is dealing with people, places, and things associated with Delzima. What I'm suggesting is something a bit more sort of religious, scholarly type work, which really not my bag.
How diverse are the practices of the temples in Delzima?
You're asking, is there a nice temple to Malar?
Not
on 2nd Street?
Not specifically. But since you are a man of knowledge, is there any such sort here in town?
So there's I mean, there's the All Faith Shrine, which does what it says on the tin, you know. There is an accepted situation there that followers of any faith are free to go in there, which includes many followers of what are typically considered less socially acceptable deities. And there's a sort of understanding that you don't question that, you don't push back on. So you could check there. Now, is it also possible that there are somewhere in the city some sort of clandestine shrine? Probably. I don't know of one for Malar specifically, but I can try to find that out. I know that there are such shrines in Delzima, but not necessarily one for Malar at this time.
We are just trying to stay ahead of this growing situation.
It's probably wise. I imagine this is not something you want to be caught by surprise with, you know?
On that, has anything like this ever happened here before?
Not that I can recall, no. I've been here a while. No, pretty much only since you guys arrived.
What is the welcomingness of your group? Obviously, we have a point of contact with you, but if we travel around, or even as our relationship grows with you, obviously we try to help where we can. You are our appointed point of contact for your group?
I think it's probably best to keep it that way for now. But, you know, potentially there could be a path to being more actively involved, I suppose, in the future.
Could be handy if we are traveling. Say we saw another somebody we thought was a friend of yours, to be able to give them the old secret velvet glove, you know, like symbol or something, so they sort of something that makes them go, friend.
I don't think they'd go friend if you did that.
Okay, it was just a guess.
Yeah, it was not a good guess. I would suggest that you, if you... If you suspect that you may have found one of my friends, then, yeah, they would know who I am.
We could say, we are friends of Gethin, the falconer.
And they would almost certainly know who you are as well.
Okay.
Such is the way of our network.
And if you have friends that are watching us, perhaps you get them to approach us. That way we are not suspicious. Should something bad happen to them on accident.
I understand your very thinly veiled threat, but let me assure you, it's not good practice for our members to approach people, especially in a public area. That risks them bringing unwanted attention upon themselves. Because inevitably a group such as yourself, who have made waves, I think it would be fair, in the area since your arrival, we're not the only people watching you.
I think that was
that.
I believe that was Silverius's point, that we want to know, we would hate to react
Mistake.
to something in the wrong way. Mistake, yes.
Well, might I suggest just, asking a couple of questions before you start putting knives in people then? Should you think the situation is going to elevate to that point?
It's an interesting idea.
Did you even watch us out there?
I'm just saying, you're going to be watched wherever you go. Probably by multiple people. I mean, once you get outside the walls, I imagine you get watched less.
You'd be surprised.
Well, like I said, you've drawn attention to yourselves because of your actions. You've been involved in a few things. You're not a particularly subtle group. You don't blend into the population here, for instance. So inevitably that attracts attention. My advice is to just not immediately stab anyone you think is looking at you for too long. Unless they're looking at you for a long time, while they cast a spell or throw a javelin at your face, that sort of thing. Then you might want to consider stabbing them.
Very well. Well, thank you for your time, Gethin. I mostly feel like we have learned a little more. It sounds like we at least have one point of contact we need to check in with. If you hear, obviously, if you hear of anything else, you're always welcome to let us know.
Of course. I know how to reach you, don't worry. I'll be thinking about that bird.
Thank you.
Pulling back. Did he say that the court needed to meet with us, or eventually?
It felt like they felt it was a priority at least. Right? I think he sort of suggested they would like to see us. I don't know if we have to go there right in a second, but
yeah, addressing that to Gethin.
When would the court prefer to see us?
Soon. I don't think things are getting better, so, sooner you're out there, sooner you can help.
Do we remember how to find them?
I would imagine you'd be fine. Yeah.
Wander into the woods and just wait for stags fighting zombies again.
Yeah.
I might be missing.
It works with everybody. I feel like between Barder and Esker there'd be some sense of direction, right?
Should be.
I mean, they want us to find them as well, so hopefully they would, if we got close, hopefully they would help us out.
They'd probably know we were in the area and figure out a way to usher us closer to them.
Yeah.
As you start heading away from Gethin towards the well, another one of the runners comes up and hands a note to you, Silvarius. And then waits eagerly.
He unfolds the note, starts reading.
It appears to be a note from Colas and Tedda. It just says, looks like you guys are pretty busy. We are going to do some research. We have a friend named Volden, a powerful sorcerer, who they're going to try and reach out to. And Tedda thinks there's a relatively nearby portal that they can reach that will get them across close to Waterdeep a lot quicker than any boat could. And so they're heading off into the wilds to go find it.
We need to ask them the location of that portal at some point when they get back.
Yeah, right.
What? Just knowing where it is doesn't necessarily mean you can use it.
We'll figure out a way. We've been through one portal, that was no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all the same.
Yeah.
Of course they are. The kid is still standing in front of you, Severus.
He looks back down, pulls out a pouch and pulls out a copper and kind of lobs it to him.
He grabs it happily, gives you a little salute, and disappears off, heading back towards the center of the city.
And he'll turn to everybody and just let them know. Colas and Tedda off to do some research.
So, what is our next move?
Do we have anything else we need to take care of here in town?
Is the... I forget if it was a we went to request some information. Was that a library?
No, that was the Fulworth
Oh, okay.
town hall, essentially.
I say we send Bardur to go check, just in case they have any information on the... Can't hurt, can't
He'll head off that way, and then he's going to disappear.
Never to be seen again.
There's the temple of Old Faith Shrine. If we wanted to figure out a little more about Malar.
Fair. Also, potentially have Rolliver if we want to go.
Mm-hmm. He might know something. Anybody want to gamble? Play some cards by the docks.
Is this a situation where we could do a divide and meet up? Is that crazy?
As long as we don't get jumped in fights.
Are you suggesting that we split the party?
Always split the party.
What are the chances of something exciting happening? We're just going to go down to the docks.
Is there 6 directions we could go? Or 5?
We'll just head down to the docks where there are reports of shadowy figures, and you guys head across town to the shrine where all the Malar worshippers are, and we'll meet back up afterwards and see what happens. I mean,
well,
I
technically, I guess...
We're not in a hurry, but we're also especially if we're looking to get a little bit of information without being quite so noticeable, a little bit of a split might make us a little less conspicuous. Less intimidating for anybody who's, willing to drop a little info.
I guess that. I'm just thinking, like, the court might actually. I mean, they might be an answer all. They're pretty amongst the court, broad with knowledge, and I mean, the shadowy figures could be linked to them, or knowledge-wise.
Is there any places that would have like any really of any faith, Phil, that would have like churches with big enough that would have libraries that might be, you know, either, even if not open to the public, could, you know, have a chance to be explored?
Let's see real quick, please hold.
Thinking regardless of the religion, if it was a, you know, a church
Right.
of significant size, it would have info on, have some sort of library or something. And if it's anything like you know, a Scooby-Doo episode, I could go and that book's checked out, and then I could just see who checked it out, and you know, go to their house. I mean, just saying how things could go if you wanted to.
I can't wait till you get to the Hall of Many Doors. Yes, I mean, certainly there would be some larger
Religious establishments.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, yes. My brain was
Well, we'll have that as like a second.
melting.
If we go somewhere, or if one of the groups is going in a place that is going near one of those, or we happen to pass by them, that may look into that.
Yeah, so this being a large trading port, you would imagine that button. Joaquin probably has a fairly sizable temple here.
Who was it? Sorry.
Joaquin. Not Joaquin.
Phoenix?
No, not Joaquin Phoenix. I was literally trying to stop you from saying that, but I was too slow.
He beat me to it.
Walking Phoenix?
Joaquin. Yes, Joaquin Phoenix. Thank you.
But of wealth?
That's probably going to be one of the larger temples in the area. Simply because, you know, it just kind of stands to reason that when you have such a commercial city that trade is kind of their bag, baby, then that's who they're going to be praying to, because they got to make sure that their trade is protected.
Cool. Okay.
So for me, Silvarius's thoughts are that he is, or ideally with the time of day that it is, we should probably head to the court.
You don't need to persuade
Unless there's
me.
anything else important in town. But he feels like anything else in town is probably going to be kind of like trickle-fed information, and we can get the most out of the court.
I'm going to quickly Druidcraft, see what the weather's going to be like for the next few hours.
It's still cold. It's clear, but cold.
Okay. I'm with you, Silverius. Let's get out there.
Everything else just feels a waste of time.
I mean, everything else is potentially useful, but I suppose we know that we need to go there anywhere. So, like you say, perhaps the answers will lie there and save us some time, as well as answering their request.
All right, so heading out the south gate.
As long as everybody seems reasonably okay with that.
Did we
This we're doing together, right?
Go out one by one.
Probably.
30 minutes after one after the other.
Yeah.
That's the smart play.
They can't watch us all.
Y'all find the body of Silvarius.
Let's be honest, he's the one who stands out.
Hey. Looks at Smokey.
Yeah, right. See, now there's two.
We should be the pair, and then we'll take all the draw.
Yeah, exactly.
You look at Smokey, but Smokey is currently a flea, so you can't see Smokey. And...
It's true.
Big pocket.
Yeah.
Like before, and then my pocket.
And your beard.
Just like, oh, jeez.
You scratch it too hard, and then
Yeah. Not this again.
Yeah, but Bardir has actually not been trying to get the fleas out of his beard recently because he thinks they're smoky, but actually he's just infested with fleas. He just hasn't realised yet. He's just like, oh, there you are, Smokey. In you go.
Yeah, right. Bing.
All right, so you can head out to beyond the gate.
Can I
Can we
ask
grab
you a
a
question?
quick bite of the Traveler's Respite?
You could do. I mean, it's probably getting close to certainly an early lunch. You could grab a bite on your way out.
Or do you just hand wave rations?
I mean, yes. But if you wanted to grab a bite, you could.
It sort of goes a little bit against Silverius's, we should get out there while the day is young. And then as soon as we start walking out, he's like, should we grab lunch on the way out?
He's just hoping there's more ribs.
Yeah. And we're like, Silverius, it's only 9 o'clock. I mean, what? You literally just had breakfast.
Well, we walked there, we put on our armor, we talked to a bird guy. I'm hungry. And I don't know about you guys. I've worked up an appetite.
You seen this body? Like the metabolism?
I would like to make a request to walk past the Pickled Quipper and see you know what progress has been made. I know it's not been a long time, but just see if they've cleared some more stuff away or whatnot.
Okay, sure.
I can't remember if that's on the way or just past. I feel like it's on the way though.
It would be, yeah, as you head south out.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, as you walk along the road, it does kind of follow the coast, initially at least. As you remember that path also then could potentially lead you down to the caves. But yeah, you see as you exit in the distance, there is some mist in the air, although it's starting to clear now. You can just make out the Tor of Bofin on the hill ahead of you down the coastline, and the woods are off as you're looking at it to the right of the Tor, and you do see where the Pickled Quipper once stood. You see a couple of carts and some movement going on. You're certainly able to go check in and see what's happening. I would, it's if you were going to try to get to the court the same way you got there before, then you literally would go past the Pickled Quipper area to the Tour of Bowfin and then enter the woods there. So if you're trying to sort of retrace your steps, that's the way you'd want to go. Alternatively, you could just dive straight into the woods and hope.
I mean, Esker doesn't feel confident about that. I don't know about Badur.
I'm going to try to do it the smart way. If there is one.
Okay. So as you approach, you can see a handful of dwarves are on site right now. And you even see Snorri, the mason, who was overseeing the project. And it's clear looking, as you get closer, that the rubble has been removed since you were here to make arrangements. So the rubble's completely cleared. Some of it is in, looks like it's in the carts, so it's only recently cleared. And Snorri and a couple of Badur, at least you'd be able to tell that these were younger dwarfs that are probably his apprentices, are in conversation, and they've got out some they've got out various like tape measures and string and so on, and they seem to be measuring some things out on the ground. But yeah, you can approach or not, as you see fit.
From my vantage point, does it look like they're making decent progress?
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of rubble that had to be shifted. And that's been done already. So, yeah, you know that building is a lot slower than breaking down and deconstructing. So, but yeah.
I mean, Esker's just happy to wave.
He kind of sees you and says, "Yoo-hoo!"
I forgot he was big summer blowout guy.
I didn't. All right.
I will discuss with him briefly a DoorDash type situation for the kobolds. What if we could? That's an untapped market, I think.
For where?
I know that the kobolds frequently come up to get...
Oh, the kobolds, yeah.
Yeah, but if we could... I mean, there's a whole slew of them down there. If we could get a DoorDash type situation going once we get the kitchens up and running, I think we really have something there.
We could make it really easy on ourselves as well by just drilling a hole straight down through and just having like a
sort of
chain pulley.
A dumbwaiter.
A dumbwaiter, yeah.
Situation. Yep. So I'll spend a couple hours going over the financials and prospects of that, and make sure we drop a few charts and proposals.
He would say, "Well, I'm not sure about the logistics of having people carry stuff down. That's not really my forte. But drilling a hole down, yes. You've come to the right dwarf."
See, it's all coming together.
No, there's no keeping a straight face when talking to Snorri.
It's true. I really
I'll
just
put
wanted
it
to
on
talk to
my
him.
to-do list.
And And just before we leave, just like we paid a bunch, right? But we owe some still. What is the? Do we remember the financials? It's important right now. I kind of forgot.
Same.
So yeah, what had happened there was we've planned out what we want it to look like, and costs were discussed, but in a very abstract, no numbers used kind of way. And what my plan is to pivot to the new Bastion's rules, because those are really good from what I can tell.
Just watched that this morning.
Yeah, really, I think that's something that once I've got a proper look at the Bastion rules, then we can try and see how well it fits with what we had already said we wanted to do with that site, and see how much of it you could, in theory, using those rules, already have access to from day one. But yeah, so I'll definitely work on that, and then I can kind of present it to you guys and say, okay, well, based on the rules, here's what it says you could have, and here's what you've already said you wanted, and I imagine, even from the start, most of what you want will be available.
Can we expand on Spencer's idea with the DoorDash and the kobolds, and we can conscript all the kobolds, but use them for like an assault brigade and have like a door smash?
Yeah.
Cool.
Was that covered in the video?
I mean, there are hirelings, so yes.
Okay.
And we need to have a catapult mounted on top of it so that if we get attacked from sea, we can fire the kobolds at the ships. We'll give them an armful of explosives and then catapult them at the ships.
These are our customers you're talking.
This sounds
Our numbers are really down, our sales numbers. Well, we did catapult 6 kobolds last month. So.
Insurance claims are
Forgot
through the
about
roof.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting to get back here and somebody had just like bent down to pick up the first piece of masonry. So short a time has it been since we actually left. Somebody's just like, well, we finally finished that other job and we're about to start on this one. That's kind of what I was expecting. So this is a bonus.
good proper dwarves working on this. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do they sort of like whistle while they work at all, or are they?
No, it's actually frowned upon.
Oh.
It's a bloody stereotype. You take that back.
Okay. So, yep. The things are thinging at the Pickled Quipper. So that's good. You can head on to the
that would be the t-shirt. That would be the t-shirt that we sell at the Pickled Quipper.
Things are thinging at the Pickled
Quipper.
Things are thinging at the Pickled Quipper.
I like it.
Phil.
Yes.
Has Keydox returned, or is he coming back?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Apologies. Yes.
I was gonna summon him otherwise.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, that's fair. He probably didn't know you were leaving, so yes, you probably would need to summon him.
Okay. He'll pop him into existence as he puts his hand up,
and he looks momentarily confused, and then realizes where he is. And he kind of looks at you expectantly.
Did you find anything?
And he sort of transmits to you the image of a big red paw print at the west gate. That's the only other thing he saw of note.
That was the one we saw before, right?
No, you haven't seen that one.
Oh, okay. I'll mention that to the group.
Another paw print at the west gate.
And the guy, that was the one the guy told us about. We just hadn't seen it, right? The guard. Yeah,
yep.
Okay.
No, they'll say only.
Yeah. So, how close is the west gate to the dock?
They're like opposite ends of town.
think in my brain the town is flipped.
That's happened to me a lot with maps and things.
That's because Phil always
yeah.
gives us maps backwards
And upside down.
and upside down. Yeah.
That is a thing that I have done.
Well, if you squint and look at it with your head tilted, it's fine.
Is there any excitement at the next place we're going to?
Well, if you head up to the tour, it's
Both
quiet.
tour? Quiet? Okay.
Yep.
Good. No laughing coming from inside?
No.
Good.
No, probably no one said a good joke. And then, yeah, you can kind of... There's not really a path that leads down, but you can remember vaguely where you entered the woods. Roughly where you saw that large dragon head, come to think of it. Well, some of you.
Check out our first season to experience the large dragon head.
Nice.
Well,
All right, who's leading the way into the woods?
I mean, Esker will kind of look to Bardur, see if he seems like he's sort of got, if he looks confident.
I mean, for scouting stuff, yeah.
He would step forward.
All right. In that case, give me a survival roll, please.
I mean, if Eska wants to help, he won't say no.
No. Esker wants to see if you can do it by yourself.
I'll fire you this way.
I'm not saying everything hinges on this roll, but... Oh, okay. 23. Okay.
Fine, I guess.
It helps that it's daylight. The first time you came in here, it was quite dark, I seem to recall. Was it? Oh, actually, I don't remember now.
Well,
Was it
no,
night?
actually, it was like the... It was kind of
It
like
was the morning
probably...
after, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was probably like
early
dawn,
morning.
I imagine.
Yeah. Okay. But nevertheless, there's a lot of sunlight in here at this time of day, especially clear skies. And while there's no clear path, no obvious landmarks in there, you have a feeling for which way to go, and it's not long before you pick up the sound of running water that lets you know that you're probably making it back to that stream that you found before. And looking around, there's currently no sign of creatures, no half-beaten elk around. But you're able to... There's sort of now a game trail that follows alongside the river. And you recall that that's the route you took heading towards the court. And walking through, you do feel that despite nothing really changing, it does feel a little darker as you get further into the woods. Definitely. It's a cold day, but where there had previously been no wind, there's a slight chill breeze that's now coming through. And for Smokey and Esker and Bardur, those who are more
in tune with the natural world, you can feel that the forest just doesn't quite feel right. You take a few more steps. Well, quite a few more steps. And eventually you do find yourself back on what feels more familiar as you get to the area around the court. You can't, as you get towards the like the way you came into, there's that clearing that you met with members of the court before. There's no there's a just a single pixie who's sort of like sitting on a branch, presumably as a guard, question mark?
Is it one we recognize?
Most threatening guard. I don't know that you would necessarily recognize this particular pixie. But they sort of straighten up as they see you coming. And you just, this very high-pitched voice just say, "What's your business here?"
We are the Hand of Aegis. We were summoned.
Oh, right. Please, go through. And you head back into the Court of Bofin. And, you quickly get dragged onto the map so that you can see it. Wait. Yoink. There you go. And in the clearing, the only one you see is Olwen. The resplendent, large, white unicorn who is sort of hovering around the... Not hovering, but just hanging around on the far side of the clearing. Just seems to be hanging out, really, having a little chew of some grass. But he looks over as you kind of pass through, and you notice, those of you with good passive perception, that there is you wouldn't have noticed this last time. Things were a little bit more distracting, but this time, as you walk past the pixie, you see on the ground there's a ring of small stones that you cross over, and as soon as you step across that, Olwen looks up and sees you. And you are now inside the court. And Olwen is, he turns to greet you.
I guess Eska will give a little sort of hand on chest sort of bow and say, "It is good to see you again."
He gives a little dip of the head in response. Says, "Welcome back." I don't remember what voice I did for Olwen, just to be clear. That's a long time ago. Oh, hey. Right now.
There was a lot of different people we spoke to.
There were a lot of people. But I think that was before I had switched over to this note-taking style too. Not helpful. So yeah, he just says, "I'm glad to see you in good health."
And likewise.
I wish we were meeting in better circumstances, however.
Tell us of what troubles you.
The rot you previously dealt with has returned. More virulent than before.
What?
I need you to deal with it.
What has been seen?
Boars in large numbers, corrupted. And shadows again. Darkness. My people do not go close to that part of the woods any longer. And there is a sickness spreading.
Is there any idea of where the source is so that it can be cut out from the source?
I do not believe the source is truly even here in the woods. I would have felt that. This is something invasive from beyond the woods. But I think the solution for now is to cleanse the woods and then seek out where this illness came from.
Of course, I am happy to help, but I do not know. There's a lot going on elsewhere that is troubling. I guess it's what do you think, friends? Are we able to help out here?
I think so. Right?
This is
And
Smokey.
Smokey looks around to everyone. Yes?
This is likely related.
Owen kind of looks at Smokey and tilts his head slightly and kind of assesses him. Ah. You may not be from a circle too close by, but I know a druid when I see one. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
If you have made friends with these fine folks, you have done well.
It is a comfort to know.
Smokey is on his own path to try and cleanse his own clan. Perhaps in time, if we help with your problems, he could talk to you of it and see if you have any thoughts. I know there is a connection between all natural things.
Indeed. I would be happy to help, if I can.
This is great news.
I have concerns after the last time you cleansed this darkness force. Let me, show me your weapons. And then he says, understand. Normally such an act would break the peace of the court. But since I am requesting for you to brandish your weapons, you may do so.
Send him over.
Okay.
I have a pile
So
of weapons in my hand.
yes, you do. Remind me right now who has. Am I right in saying that Silverus is the only one who actually has a magic weapon? Is that correct?
Not on him.
Not on him, right?
I
I don't have one.
Nope, I don't have a.
He looks at them and looks troubled. That is what I feared. I believe you may not be equipped for this endeavor. These creatures are stronger than last time. No matter how sharp you keep this blade, and he sort of gestures to Bartles Volcata, I fear it will have little to no effect on this creature. You need either something that has been kissed by moonlight, maybe coated in something, or perhaps some sort of enchanted weaponry.
You do not have such things, do you, in the court?
We have a solitary dagger that I could provide to you. But that is all. You are welcome to it. And, as he says that, out of seemingly nowhere, from behind him, another sprite comes flying over, holding a very shiny dagger, and sort of holds it out. Looks kind of like a greatsword on this creature, but you know, they hold it out in front of them.
Thank you. Eska doesn't really feel like she's the best person to have this. We will add it to our arsenal.
I speak up and I kind of step forward. I was like, my lord, if I may show you something of the magic variety, I promise this is not meant as a threat.
Gives a little half nod.
So I bring my fist up and it engulfs in flames, or not in flame, but in shadows, and it comes up in like the shape of like Psylocke from X-Men, like her like magic sword hand thing or whatever it was, and it's like that, but it's in shadow. And I was like, I have this. Do you believe this would be of some use?
Researching.
It's Shadow Blade.
I say, new trick.
I just wanted to see what it looked like.
Everybody in the party is like,
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Imagine Psylocke's blade, but it being like more shadowy.
He looks at it and gives an admiring nod and said, "Yes, this would be sufficient." And indeed, if you have anything that gives you the ability to use magic, I believe magic will harm them, or magically imbued weapons, or something like the dagger.
Well, we may
And then
have some possibilities then, but it is also perhaps worth us having a think about this and what we may, if we can better arm ourselves.
I believe the town had a supply of available weaponry. Whether or not we have currency to acquire these is in question.
Do you have piles of gold? Just checking.
Ours is not the way of gold.
Yes, I figured.
You spoke of things being connected. What did you mean?
When I spoke of things being connected?
No, the dwarf.
There seems to be happenings in the city of shadowy creatures running around at night, painting paw prints that seem to be related to Malar.
His brow furrows as you keep talking, and then you say Malar, and he violently shakes his head and spits on the ground. You did not know this, but never speak that name here again. If that is what is going on, that concerns me. Arm yourselves as well as you can, and be prepared. You could be facing something far stronger than I realized.
Is this rot connected?
Now I believe it could well be. Yes. He looks troubled and says, I need to speak with one of my companions here. Someone who has familiarity with the Beast Lord's ways. Get your supplies. And then head back to where the darkness was before. Cleanse that, and I will hope to have more information that could perhaps prepare you for what is ahead.
This we can do. Does that seem to be the pervading feeling amongst everybody, as Eska looks around them?
Yep.
Okay.
We handle big evils. We don't do small evils.
Yeah.
Episode shopping trip.
But first, do we want to go back and get a bite at the Traveler's Respite?
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, when you say next episode, you mean next 3 episodes, right? That's how we normally roll.
Does everybody get their own episode?
And we're going to get back to Drakesburg.
Everybody has their own shopping episode.
all the good stuff is on Drakesburg. Yeah.
We have shopping episode. And we lost the spiritual weapon member of our party.
Oh no!
Does anybody have any spiritual weapons that they can conjure? Oh, sorry. Actually, we just.
Her winds flowing in the breeze as the cart's running up the way.
All right. Well, let's call it there then, and we'll start the next one with you gearing up, and then apparently heading out to deal with some darkness.
Ooh boy.